All right, welcome to Tales of the B-Side. Since I started this YouTube channel, this is a series I've been dying to do. Talk about the non-primary heroes and villains, what went right, what went wrong, what I might have done, and at times talk about how a particular character influenced me. Today we're going to start out with Wonderman from Marvel. Wonderman debuted in Marvel in the Avengers title, number 9 in 1964. He also died in that issue. More on that in a minute. 4 years later, in Avengers 58 in 1968, they revisited the events of number 9 and explained that they had electronically saved Wonderman's mind in a computer, basically his brain patterns, which were later used for the Vision. Wonderman's body was brought back in Avengers 102 in 1972, where he made a cameo appearance in a comatose state, thanks to the Grim Reaper, who's also his brother, Eric Williams. Wonderman's body was revived by the villain Kang in Avengers 131 to 132 in 1975, and then again by the Black Talon in Avengers 152 in 1976. And finally by the Living Laser in Avengers Annual number 6 in also 1976. Wonderman joined the Avengers in a full-time capacity in Avengers 60 in June of 1977. In this run, Wonderman and the Beast would become a favorite duo and buddy team. It was a fan favorite dynamic to this run on the Avengers. My first comic book was Avengers 188. And that's where I first became exposed to Wonder Man, Captain America, and a whole bunch of other people. So, Stan Lee was asked about Wonder Man in 1978, and he said, and I'll say this in my best Stan Lee voice, "You know, years ago, we brought out Wonder Man, and DC Comics sued us because they had Wonder Woman. And I said, okay, I'll discontinue Wonder Man. Then all of a sudden, they've got Power Girl, right after we introduced Power Man. Oh boy, how unfair." Besides being an on-again, off-again Avenger, Wonder Man was a founding member of the West Coast Avengers. He also starred in a self-titled graphic novel in 1986. He starred in a 29-issue series called Wonder Man from 91 to 94. He also was on the Force Works team in July of 94. He joined a splinter group called the Mighty Avengers and co-starred in that team series, which was in 2007. He starred in a self-titled graphic novel in 1986. I believe that this was the one where the Purple Man took over the world and Wonder Man saved everyone. In 2007, he starred in a 5-issue miniseries called Wonder Man, My Fair Superhero. And there was a 3-issue miniseries called Avengers 2, Wonder Man and the Beast in 2000. Comic book writer Rick Remender revealed in an interview that Wonder Man would be a member of the Uncanny Avengers starting in issue number 5. So a little history. Here's the short version. Simon Williams, the son of a rich industrialist, Stanford Williams, owner of Williams Innovations. Simon inherits the munitions factory after his father's death, but the company's profits fall due to his biggest competitor, Tony Stark, and Stark Industries. He's recruited by Baron Zemo and the Masters of Evil, who give him the name Wonder Man and his powers, with the objective to infiltrate and destroy the Avengers. Plan fails when Wonder Man decides to save the Avengers and aid them against Zemo. Apparently, at the cost of his own life, Iron Man, Tony Stark, records Wonder Man's brain patterns in the hope that one day he can be revived. Unbeknownst to the Avengers, Wonder Man's body is simply entered a catatonic state as it adjusts to the effects of the ionic treatment that gave him his powers. Eric Williams becomes distraught over the apparent death of his sibling and blames the Avengers, assuming the identity of the Grim Reaper. In an effort to destroy them, the Grim Reaper steals Simon's body at one point and attacks the Avengers 3 times until Wonder Man finally returns. Wonder Man remains in suspended animation for years, and it is during this period that Ultron, the robot created by Hank Pym, steals the brain patterns recorded by the Avengers and uses it as a template for the Vision. Wonder Man at this point is revealed to have become a being of ionic energy. He develops an interest in acting. Wonder Man stars in minor roles before moving to Hollywood. Wonder Man also works for a time as a stuntman because he's invulnerable to virtually all conventional weapons. Wonder Man becomes romantically involved with the Scarlet Witch, but ends their affair after the Kang Dynasty saga. Wonder Man is also blackmailed into working for S.H.I.E.L.D. during the Civil War storyline, so he ended up working for Team Iron Man. Wonder Man also began a romantic relationship with a fellow Avenger, Miss Marvel, at one point in time when she was a leader of the team. And following the events of the Secret Invasion, Wonder Man betrays the Avengers and is imprisoned as a member of the new Lethal Legion. Iron Man notes that Simon is leaking ionic energy, suggesting that his current mental condition may relate to his powers rather than simply being a matter of choice. Wonder Man put together a team called the Revengers to basically go against and harass the Avengers because he believes that the Avengers do more harm than good. Wonder Man later reappears to Captain America, Steve Rogers, telling him that he feels sorry for his past actions and that he's trying to redeem himself. Before he can accept help from the Avengers, he's attacked by the Red Hulk. He manages to take him down and looks at Avengers Tower, claiming that he will earn his way back. Abilities. Ionic energy. He has flight, immortality, virtually invulnerable, superhuman strength, speed, agility, stamina, and reflexes, enhanced vision and hearing, healing factor, ionic energy manipulation, power recycling, electromagnetic manipulation, energy enhanced strike, size alteration, shape-shifting, self-substance, and teleportation. When we talk about strength, I might point out that at one point he was in the, and I think he still is, but he was in the 100-plus ton category, fourth in line. He was in the 100-plus category with the Hulk, Hercules, Thor, Iron Man, and himself. So he is one of the strongest heroes, at least at the time that chart was done, which was back in the 80s. Why I liked Wonder Man. I loved Wonder Man and the Beast team-ups. I thought they were fun. They brought a lot of comedy to the team. He was certainly the straight man. But I think most of all, I liked that he was a flawed character. He was a person trying to find his way. He wasn't confident in his abilities. He was trying to learn how to fit in. He didn't even know if he wanted to be a hero. Now, that inspired me quite a bit in the series that I'm writing right now called The Rubicon. I have a character that takes a lot of these components in because the thing that I'm trying to ask the question is what makes somebody want to be a hero? You know, most of these superhero stories go right from, geez, I got superpowers, I'm going to put on an outfit, and I'm going to save people. How does somebody get there? How does somebody get to that point? There's a lot of risk involved. I mean, first of all, you got to even learn to use your powers. So I take the slow approach, and you know, it goes all the way from getting powers to learning the powers to learning to become a hero, and then eventually building a universe. So I'm going to take the slow route, but I'm going to make it interesting. And I'm going to try to stay true to character development because that's what they didn't do with Wonder Man. Here's a bunch of things I didn't like. At one time, you know, he had the power to be Marvel's Superman, but they never developed him in that direction. He was a tank type character, but they rarely wrote him that way in the stories. They never truly knew what to do with the character. His size, over time, has changed. He's had a slight frame, a hulking frame, a bulky frame, and a normal body frame. Power, he's had to fly with jets. He's had no jets. He's flied with his ionic abilities, and his ionic abilities have been all over the place. Now, certainly, I stopped reading Marvel Comics a few years ago. I'd never really seen this teleportation that they're talking about. That seems to jump the shark a little bit in my book. Costume, he went from a decent superhero outfit to a non-hero outfit, and then bad outfits, and then iconic shift from human form to ion form. And I think the place that he's at is actually a pretty good place. So I'm glad they finally settled on something, but even then, they've kind of messed around with it. So, good versus bad. If they were consistent in a way that happened and ran the storyline all the way through, I'd be okay with it. But they seem to jump really quick. Marvel editorial seems to fail this particular character because they transition him from good to bad way too fast a couple of different times. So the transitions have been way too abrupt. Romantic attachments, again, too quick to start and stop. Scarlet Witch, Miss Marvel, never anything really solid. I think if you're like me, you grow up with superheroes, you certainly cheered the Kitty Pryde Colossus or cheered Hawkeye and Mockingbird at one point in time, and now they jump so much and they jump continuity and almost throw it out the window. But back in my day when I started reading comics, they had a team that worked on the book for several years. You'd have a large block of time. Nowadays, for the most part, they don't even keep a series for several years. They do a handful of books, they cancel a series, and then restart it again. So, career-wise, he was an industrialist, stuntman, and actor. Personality, wants to be a hero, doesn't want to be a hero. Age portrayal, I've seen him with gray hair. I've seen him young. So, again, they've never really decided what they wanted this character to be. I like him. I like him almost purely because he's a flawed character. And I think that's the way to build a character. It's okay to have somebody that's really super strong, but you got to make his personality interesting or flawed in some kind of way that there's hurdles that he has to overcome. And I think that would be one of my challenges writing like a character like Superman. He's almost too good to be true. I know that there's ways to do it, but certainly I'm not experienced enough to do it. But there's a lot that could be done, could have been done with Wonderman. So Wonderman's an interesting character. I certainly encourage you to go to his Wikipedia page, which is where I got some of the information. Others I've got purely from reading over the years. I do want to share this character with you, and also I want you to think about how you might do a character. Again, this is Tales from the B-Side. I'm going to do another one before too long. If you would like to send me a message and let me know of a particular character that you like, I stick primarily to superheroes. But anyway, if you like this, like and subscribe, pass it around, share it, and we will talk to you all later.